It's September 19, 2024, and we're doing an Island Times visit with Dionisy Dennis Bourdukofsky. And here in the room is Garrett Pletnikoff and myself, Aquilina Lestinkoff. And maybe if you can, if we start this with you just sharing any, your name, your
Okay.
if you had nicknames, and your family with dad and mom, siblings and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, born in here on St. Paul. Born and raised here in 1946. That was after my dad came back from the army. Then I was born down here at house 18 or 17.
Oh, wow.
And in those days, when I was growing up there was no running water or no toilets. We had honey buckets outside by the houses. They used to have outhouses. We dumped the honey buckets and used to have to take turns doing that. Then we had steam baths. Most of the houses had steam baths because didn't have no running water to take showers and stuff. Then the water truck would come around once a week, deliver water to we had a water barrel in the Calidor. They'd deliver water to us. And in the wintertime, they'd deliver ice. So you'd have to chip the ice. So all we had was a coal stove, wood stove. Then my parents were George and Mary Bourdukofsky. Then I had a brother Benjamin, Jason, Peter, Catherine. Then my younger is me. Then there's Eugene, then Thomas. And my brother Benjamin passed away in the 50s from polio, when he had that polio epidemic. We moved down. They built some new houses in the 50s down where I'm living now. So I've been there ever since, from moving from house 17 down to that house 54.
Was house 17
The
dad
tribal
George
house.
or mom, it's in their family? Or how did
No,
they move in?
they lived before the evacuation. They lived in house 34. And Dad said and Mom said they hid stuff in the attic and stuff like that. Then when he came back, the government assigned them different houses. But all the stuff that were in the house were all gone. He had a bunch of ivory and stuff like that. I hid it in there, but nothing was found or nothing. So they got moved to house 17 in the 50s. I think it was built in 51 or something like that. 50. It started in the 50s, but it got done in 51. There was two houses. That one next to mine where Jacob or Marilu lived, where they moved, was Maxim Buttern. He lived there. Then there was only two houses that one year they built. And next summer they built two more, then two more. And they went all the way, after they built 5-9, they went back and built his grandpa's 5-2. That was the last one they built.
So that was the bottom row in the 50s.
Yeah. Then we had a little tundra. We had our clotheslines and stuff like that in the front there, and a little ball field that we played. Then I started I went to school here, right in this building, I'm part of the building here, from till up to 10th grade, until 1963. 63, 64, 64, 65, I was in Mount Edgecombe. We went to the boarding school.
Through 10th grade here?
10th grade here.
Okay. Never knew that.
Yeah. There's a lot of those girls that didn't go to school, that got married, like Augusta and Dorothy and Barbara, and That's how come they had 50 years anniversaries.
Mm.
They got married when they're probably 14, 15 or something like that. So, but a lot of the other girls went down. There's a picture of the one going on Reeves.
With everybody
And
standing.
Dick Peterson took, yeah. He got from St. George and St. Paul. Like boys and girls were like that.
Yeah.
They couldn't, in the old days, everything used to be like that. And when the Mount Edgecombe for 63, 64, 64, 65, my first year was really bad. Of course, my sister was down there, Catherine, there, bawling me out. 'Cause I wasn't behaving. I got big bodies in front like that and had a lot of money, and he's a real big guy too. He was the biggest guy in the school. Him and John Hart and I and another guy were good friends, so I sent him over to get a bottle of, we'd buy a little pint of 190 because we didn't want to carry a big drink. 190, you drink a little bit, well, you get high pretty fast. And I was in a party, it was Michael Caniff used to live there. We were at his place, they were out, they were babysitting and stuff like that, and there was Steve LeCaniff and I and Lena, and I don't know what's happened, we were fighting, and I didn't know there was a dorm mate living next door to us, we were duplex,
Oh.
and he came over and everybody disappeared, and when I answered the door, I said, Dennis, what are you doing here? I said, babysitting. Everybody was gone. I said, I don't think so. I heard a bunch of racket here. You by yourself? I said, yeah. I said, no. I said, you better come with me to there. So I got caught for drinking and got on restriction for 1 month. They didn't have telephones in here, you know.
Yeah.
Used to have to go to Capeners and ham radio. Then my mom and dad connected somehow and called me up, bawled me out.
Mm.
Lesson I learned. Yeah.
That was as a 11th grader.
Pardon?
You were in 11th grade.
Yeah. My sister was like my boss all the time. Tell me what to do. Don't be doing that to girls. So what do you mean? He said you were going out with them, then you go around and go out with another one. He said you break their heart and stuff like that. Don't be doing it. I said, well, I'm not serious with anybody I told that. But she was my the guardian for schooling down there. The problem was when I worked in the summertime, I figured how many weeks I had at school and how much money I had, and I budget my money for how much money I could take out. So it lasted. That's how I learned to budget and stuff like that. They had little school banks there, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
They had that. I did the same thing when I went to high school, like work in the summer, and I figured out how many weeks of school, and this is as much as, if I went over, I knew the next week I shouldn't take out any more than that, and stretched it out until it was,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And my brother Jason was just got back from Vietnam. He was down in San Francisco, and he was bumming me for money. So I sent him a few dollars and stuff like that. That's where he met John Cena, I think, down in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Edgecombe, graduated in '65, and in '65 I came home working. I was working before here with the government. The first working was seemed like when you first work, they put you in the mess hall, and my dad was chief cook down there. I didn't like working out there, so I asked Patrick. I said, "You guys have biologist rooms for that? So you can call me. Want me over? I work for the biologist." He said, "Okay, yeah, well, I'll check it out," and he did. So I worked a week down at the A-dorm that John Masikin was man. That one day we staffed wore a white coat and cap and everything. I said, hey, John. I said, what did you do? Oh, don't ask me. Ask your dad. Your daddy's boss. He bawled me out. Oh, okay.
Was he the baker?
He was a baker.
Yeah.
There's a story that my dad told me, and my mom, about John and my dad, Arthur, and Terenti Freitas in the old bunkhouse. Roy Hurd, an island manager, came down there, and John used to be on said, John, my dad was there, Arthur was there, and Terenti was there. John, yes sir, man, John would say. He said, you're getting kind of older, you gotta think about retiring, yeah. Yes sir, man. I said, yeah, I'm gonna put, George will be the boss. I said, yeah, he'll be off the boss in the kitchen and everything else. Yes sir, man. And you get ready for retirement, you're getting pretty up there in age. Yes sir, man. Okay, John, that's good. I'm glad you agreed. Yes sir, man. That's all he said to him. Then he left. Then John asked my dad, oh, God echt al aan mee. He said, die Neldag ze kocht and he retired and he still in the sun. He took his pots and pans, started throwing pots back. My dad and Arthur and Terenti ran out of the kitchen. Yeah, he didn't even know what Roy Hurd was telling him. Of course, he didn't understand English.
Yeah.
But he worked, they let him work, and he became the baker. And he was working 8 hours when I was working too. That's when he hollered at me too.
He was working there, even, I remember being a little girl when
Yeah.
he was working there. Yeah.
So I got to start working with a biologist probably a week later. We were working for about 47 cents an hour before that plan started back in the early 60s. And I worked with your dad and your Uncle Perfina, Patrick, Anthony, and all that. Every summer or stuff I'd come in and go work with them. And after Haskell, I went back down to, I worked back to 8 Hour Crew and that Victor Masikin. Yeah, you, I know you. You work with a biologist, huh? I said, oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I know you guys screw around all summer. He told us. Oh no, we're working. No, I know you guys. Come on, I got a good job for you. I grab a rake, and let me follow the grader all the way to Northeast.
Oh, wow.
The grader would ride. It was Johnny Melville and Vicky and I. And used to have, when the grader goes, they would go there, pick up big rocks and throw them off the road, stuff like that. So I don't know, after a few summers, I just told Patrick and said, I'm not going to work with you guys anymore. I said, how come? I said, when I go back to the crew, the 8-hour crew, they just pick on me. So I ended up working back with the summer to 8-hour crew, and Heine was here. And Heine found out I was going to work with biology. And he said, hey, I said, oh, I heard you're not working biology. You know, oh, good, I need a carcass truck driver. I said, okay, I'll drive. Dad those big scoops then.
Yeah.
So I drove with them, and then later on. Before that harvest, I was harvesting seals and stuff. It was stripping and all that and everything. And those times when we did cows, we did a lot of cows. And those times that we just go along, as you go up Zapping Hill on the left side, to take them and didn't use a regular killing field. Club them there and stuff and use knife. Just cut up their skins and left their carcasses and stuff.
No rounding them up, just going.
Yeah, just from the rookery. Those are female. Then halfway, where they were taking, I don't know why they were taking the skins from one from halfway there, because Tulip up and I and Abby were pulling the milk and everything used to splash us all the time.
I did see a paper recently with that 66 Act, I think it was, where it said something about trying to tan female skins was not the same as
So regular back.
yeah.
Then a lot of them said too that the female skins had damages because the bulls would be pulling them.
Yeah.
I even seen one when I worked battle was the one that had a probably wide 4-inch strip pulled all the way across, missing.
Wow. It was tough.
There would be 2 bulls pulling on one.
Yeah. So those was summer work. So you went to a Haskell, you
I
go to
went to-
Haskell and come back in the summertime?
I came back in the summertime, yeah, and I worked summer jobs. And when I went to Haskell, I went to culinary arts there 2 years. And I worked in the Ramada Inn in Topeka, Kansas, Ernest and I. And it was lots of rapping and stuff like that doing it. So, can you even tell if you're walking around? Yeah, more stitches. And this one he had morning shift, I had a morning shift, he had evening. Then I went out and partied. I went to this bar and I looked around. I didn't know anybody or nothing there. Sat down at a beer. This guy said, "Oh, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, fine." Then I was looking and said, "Oh, I noticed there was no women there or nothing like that." And the guy started talking. So I said, "Oh my God, I hope this is." I said, "I got to go to my bathroom. Excuse me, I'll wait." And I went to the bathroom. I snuck out. The next day I asked Ernest and that one guy I worked with, a Mexican guy, he said, "Oh, this bar over there." I said, "Oh yeah, that's a gay bar." I said, "Oh yeah, really?" Mr. Ernest, it scared me, holy cow.
Did the drinks cost different there?
Yeah. And I was off campus out of Haskell, but in Topeka. And I went to, I met a girl in the bar, and she took me after hours bar somewhere out of town. Then we rode about half rack or something. Got that bar and the bar closed. And I don't know what happened to her. She left me out. I need a ride. Then I had a 6-pack of beer. And there was a car there, and there was a about 5 hour up and in and stuff like that. And I said, "Hey bro, you going to town?" I told him, "Yeah." "Yeah, I got beer." "Oh, come on in." I rode with them. I didn't even know who they are. Then we're riding, and we got up to the car, and there was a car the car kept going in front of them, and the guy his buddies were getting mad at him, just punching that driver and said, "Come on, you can beat him." And it didn't happen. So we got there down in Topeka, and then they stopped and they pulled that driver out, and I was looking around where I was. I said, "Oh shit," I saw that church. I said, "I know where I'm at." And I was watching them, they were fighting, and I backed up, went around the corner, ran home to my apartment. But I did come here and work in the summertime and stuff. Then after 67, I came back here, and I worked with the government, and they put me as a laborer and stuff like that, and summer hire. Then that Victor Masikin told me, he said, "Yeah," he said to me, "Yeah, you go there, go to your brother, tell him to take you out there and go on that dozer." I said, "Oh, on what? The dozer?" I said, "Oh, okay. Northeast Winter Road, used to clean it." I said, "Okay." I told Jason, I said, "Hey, they told me to use the dozer D5. I told him I didn't know how to use it. He told me, "Take your time and learn." He told me that. So okay. I didn't say no, but I just wouldn't. And I told him when I came back for lunch and stuff, Nick stepped in and said, "I don't know, that road is going to be like this when you..." He said, "Well, don't worry about it. Well, the grader will flatten it out." I said, "Okay." Then I got into equipment, operating equipment and stuff like that. My 2 years of cooking school and stuff like that, I cook at home. My mom said, "Look at you, you went to school, you cook, and you're being an operator and a cat and stuff like that." I said, "Oh." Then that summer, after I graduated, then the Honey, they had they were processing the crab down the chain there. King crab season. It was in August, September, this time of year, September.
On the
King
chain?
crab.
On Alaska?
Yeah, in Acatan.
Oh, okay.
We were on that Nelco one, or it was Nelco. They wanted more people, so I left with his brother Philip. We would fly from here to Kobe, then Kobe to Acatan. On the Nelco one, and there was Honey was on there. His brother Peter, Maxim Imanov, Africana, Gabe Freitas, me, and
Is this like winter time? Or
this was
fall time?
September, yeah, fall. Then that was in '67. Then we're way up in Acatan, way up in the bay. Acatan was down. They didn't Trident. Nobody was there. Trident was there. Nothing. It wasn't really a process. There was one floater by the city dock in Acatan, but we were way up in the bay. We hook up to the fresh water from the mountains to the boat. And this one day, this one girl came out, Angie Mensoff. I didn't know how I met her, but she came up and I was doing something working. Pretty soon somebody hollered, "Hey Dennis, your girlfriend's here." I said, "What? Your girlfriend?" It was Angie. She had Angie Mensoff had her as Uncle Skiff. He said, "You want to go to town?" I told him, "Yeah, it was Friday." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Hold on." I told Philip, "I'm going to go to town. You want to come?" He said, "Yeah." And I asked Africana, "You want to go to town?" "Yeah." "Gabriel, you want to go to town?" "Yeah." And I figured if I don't show up, they're not going to show up either. So we all went to town. These guys went to the bar. I wasn't old enough to go to the bar. So probably only 20 or so. 1920. Then Cousteau was there too.
Mm.
And we took them all back and everything like that. Well, it was hard to try to gather them all up together and try to take them back to the boat.
In the skip?
In the skiff, yeah. Yeah, they were feeling good and stuff.
How long was the work there?
That year, it was a 67. We moved from Acatan to Adak. When we were in Acatan and stuff like that, Africana, I used to keep time sheet for him and stuff like that. And then Africana used to, "Hey, you Acatan lover," used to call me that all the time. Then we went to Adak and stuff like that, and then Finger Bay military was there and stuff, so we couldn't go anywhere. Just stay on the boat and stuff. Then the Navy wives and stuff like that used to work on the boat and come up. Then Africana used to have that one woman that they call her his Uni, my Uni. His name was Eunice, I guess it was a good friend.
Mm.
So we were there, and from Acatan we went to Unalaska fuel, get some fuel from was Standard Oil Dock. Then Dutch Harbor wasn't even connected to Unalaska. We saw people on Unalaska side try to get them over to pick us up. To just had Diakonoff or something like it came over and fueled the boat. And
Walter Dag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came over and fueled the Nelco one and stuff, and we headed on our way. We had a big storm. I went wheel watch with Phil, and there was no inside passage. You had to walk outside, go down the galley and get coffee and walk on the rail. It's rough. And that there wasn't much room between where you're standing and the skipper was really a big, heavy guy too. I said, "I never steered a boat before." I said, "Oh, don't worry, just go 5 degrees left, 5 degrees right, and just stay on that course." I said, "Okay." Probably wouldn't like this. So it was that, and we had crab pots tied on the bow and stuff, and the storm, some of the crab pots came off.
Mm.
While I was in the ADAC, I got mail from my mom and dad, and I got my draft notice from the Army, civil service. So I had to go report in, and I told Philip, I said, "Hey, I got to go home." I said, "I have to report in for the Army." He said, "Oh, I'm going with you." I said, "You can't go with me." I said, "No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go home with you." He said. So we ended up leaving ADAC and flying to Kobe. Stayed in Kobe overnight when Reeves used to stop there, and you know. So we went down to Flying Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
Had rum and coke. We had rum and coke. Then we got pretty high and walked back. There were only two of us in that Reeves hangar or upstairs now. Then we came home. He said, "Oh, rum and coke, that's all we had to talk about." Philip.
Everyone else stayed back and kept working
Yeah.
at the con. And,
Mm-hmm. King crab, huh? Yeah, they walked into January. No, I'm just thinking. Nowadays, you only have it for 2 weeks or something like that.
yeah, it's really short.
And there was these big boats that come into that processor, and their holds are just full of crab.
Mm.
There was one like a Pribilof, like they call Apollo. It was about the size of Pribilof, and boy, that thing used to have a lot of crab. My arms, I think on the boat I worked everything. My wrist got hurt, and I got to see. I walked the rollers in ADAC. I was watching these ladies. My hand, those crab things are sharp. They grab your gloves.
Oh,
You have a switch when you go, it'll come back out. Had my class ring on and squeezed it. Good thing it was sideways.
wow.
Didn't pay attention to my work. Yeah. So we then when they have on the blow line, they call blow line. When they get done upstairs, that whoever's doing chopping linen now will bang on it and let you know that's done or something like that. So then everybody goes running to the line in the lunchtime.
Mm.
But when we were going from Akatan to ADAC, the cook got sick. Everybody got sick on the boat at Suruf. So Honey and Gavrila made soup. And tried to soup. It tastes like salt water. I said, "Will you use salt water?" So we ended up eating only eggs, toast and eggs all the way. Ham. Tied up in Finger Bay. It was on the boat here. Just going to storage room. Rats. Turn the lights on. When he used to be scared, it would be going tying up the boat and they'd throw a glove and he'd go run. He had a lot of rats there, holy cow. So I got drafted anyway and came home and we went to Anchorage and my physical and stuff like that, and there's a whole bunch of them. Probably 20 guys or so. Got you stripped down to your shorts only and stuff like that. Then they told you to use the bathroom. You got 15 people waiting behind you. Standing in line, I couldn't go at the back of the line and wait. Yeah, then I was going to report, come back on Reeves, and then I was at my brother's, Father Peter's place in Maggie's Trailer Court the day Reeves came in. Then I got a call from A&S, it was A&S. Said to go in there and get check my heart or something like that, and I went there. Then he found out I had a heart murmur. They said, "Oh, I'm going to miss my plane." They only had flight once a week.
Yeah.
So I had to stay there another week. Then I came home. Then I got another letter from the Army. Then they sent me down to Bethesda, Maryland, and Naval Hospital. And I was there for 3 weeks. They give me all kind of tests and all that and everything. It was a really nice hospital, though. Snacks anytime you wanted, all that and everything. Then I went on a tour to D.C. with one of some person I don't even know, someone arranged it for me. We went in out in a convertible. We had a convertible. So that was nice. Then I came home and I got another letter. So they reclassify me as, well, 1A is when you're going to go in to the Army and stuff like that. And I was sweating away and stuff. Then they got a letter classified as 4F, for they're not qualified for military service because they found out I had a heart murmur.
Mm.
Then I told Patrick, he said, oh yeah, you have to send me down to Bethesda and all that. And I said, yeah. He said, well, listen, you ought to get married, they won't bother you.
Patrick
Have
Coslon.
kids, yeah. He said, have kids, stay married. I said, yeah. Then after I came back and stuff like that, and then I was sitting with my brother Jason, John Cena were living down there. And then I seen Janet. I didn't know when it was 64 or something like that, or no, 64. It was in 67, 68, maybe.
Oh, when they moved over
Yeah.
from St. George? Yeah. Into the house that Maxim Buderin was living in.
Yeah. And they said, oh yeah, there's people moved in over there. I said, oh yeah, who? And then he said, it was Alex McCauley and Maryland. I said, oh, good. Well, my mom and dad were down there too. Jason and Sonsino were living upstairs or downstairs too. Then I said, oh yeah. You know, drinking beer. I said, who's that girl? Check her out. He said, oh, it's from next door. It was Janet. I said, okay. I was at a bar and I saw Adar. I said, hey, well, you're my neighbor, eh? I said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. I said, I saw your daughter. I said, "We're pretty." I said, could I visit her? I said, go ahead if you want. I said, all right. I was out. Knocked on the door. Jacob answered the door. I seen your dad. He said, it's okay for me to come visit your sister. So that's how we met.
Mm.
When I came back too, I came back with a sauce bottle and stuff. Drinking that one day. Was acting smart, I guess. And I asked him, "Want to go for a ride?" We had a Ramblers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my brother Jason, "Could I borrow your car?" He said, "Yeah, go ahead." And it was in September, when the first snow started falling. So we went out riding. We didn't dress for the weather. No. We headed to Southwest Point. I was breaking, going through little snow banks that drifted. I got to Southwest Point. I had 2 flat tires.
Oh, no.
I said, oh my God, what do I do? I have 2 flat tires. So we have 2 flat tires. Then I went down to Sergei's camp house, and he had a padlock on it. It was locked. They had a bench on that thing. I took that bench up, broke the padlock, door open. I said, it's going to get dark here. Probably within a half hour or so, I told Janet. I said, I'm going to light up the stove and stuff like that, and I'll run back and get a ride. I fired up the stove and turned the lamp on. But I was in dress, so I threw it in the drawers. I found on desert sweaters and pants and stuff. I dressed from that. And I ran. I was in pretty good shape then, so I ran part ways or below it ran. And I ran down the beach before it was a haul road. Went up by a post office. Before he was cleaning there, he had a Jeep. So I said, oh, Jen, you can take her up, pick her up. He said, oh, okay. So we went out there and picked her up. Of course, I had to come back and tell Jason about his 2 flat tires. Yeah, right, he told me. He was mad at me. So that's how I got started. I met Janet. But I worked in this, after I came back, I worked with the government only worked probably 2 or 3 months or something like that. In the winter time, they'd lay us off. So they wouldn't let it work more than 6 months sometimes because they didn't want to pay us the benefits and stuff like that. So they'd lay us off, and so I'd go hunting, subsistence hunt, and then I would have no bullets and stuff like that too. I had no income, but if I get bullets, sea lion and ducks and stuff, so I'd go to Sergey's or John Krukov, Uka, and get elders and give them birds and sea lion stuff. In return, they give me shells and bullets and stuff, so that worked out pretty good.
Oh, nice. Did you return Nadezhda's clothes?
Pardon?
Did you return Nadezhda's clothes?
Oh, yeah. I did. Yeah, it was a big sweater and stuff like that, and pants. I used rope and tie the pants up so it wouldn't drop.
And at that time with hunting, like, it seems like hunting men would go together.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd do it in group. I used to hunt with Douglas and Mike Z, Jason. One time when I was going out in the morning, Mike Z had a red Jeep that his dad, Nick, stepped and bought from Uncle Sorrenti. And the Sakitan were just coming in then. Then Douglas got a ride with Agathon, I think. Then we were waiting for Mike, so I went up to Mike's house. Jason and I went to Mike's. Woke him up and said, "Hey, come on, Julie, where's my thing, Julie? You should have said, fix your stuff out the night before." Then it was when he had his air wipers going on, and the byproduct was there yet too. And he saw this. He was riding the river. "Who the hell is that?" The snow was coming down. "Who's that? Canuck." Jason and I look at each other. It was a fox running on the road. He thought it was Canuck on his moped. Oh my God, you see all this time, that's a fox. He thought it was Jacob E. Oh, this Honda, that little moped. It's crazy, yeah. We used to go out, he had two-wheel drive, and he'd go out with 3 shovels, and we'd go out to Northeast Point or Southwest all the time. We'd get stuck all right, but we'd dig ourselves out. There was this big bank before you reach Camp House. And he said, "Okay, hold on." And we took off, and it was frozen, and we went, flew over. Oh, rat patrol. We broke a spring on the Jeep.
Oh, no.
Used to have
Towards
to
the
go down.
northeast? Towards the northeast?
Yeah. Used to have to go down to Cape Nurse and other parts.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, go. Where are you going?" "Assembly of Jeep." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so on those days working part-time and surviving off the island, even Hagio was good, you know, the breast meat and stuff, kitty-whack.
Yeah.
You stay out hunting in the wintertime when ice is around, just praying for one more duck to come around or something like that, because they'd fly all day, you know, and be stranded ones. Then at night, the big bunches would fly. We'd be at Northeast Point in Duluth, and we would go out there before daylight, and Sea Lion Neck was Sea Lion Neck then. And we thought, I said, "Look at that." "What?" "Can you see the light? It's flashing like..." Then we got there, and we were walking into his old man mill. He had 2, 3 cigarettes in his mouth. He said, "I know my guys to shoot me, you think I was a sea lion." Yeah, he was smoking his cigarettes and flashing it up. He said, "Oh." And he was about, I don't know, from here to the end of your end of the room on the other side there, and ducks are flying, we're dropping ducks. And he'd come over and grab duck from by us. "Oh, chuto avali duck." He said, just like chuchkis. I don't think he got that when he You go down on the beach down here, used to, when the ice come in,
Mhm.
people used to line the shores and those guys in front could shoot the ducks and guys behind them would shoot, and if you get them when they're coming down to take the ducks and stuff like that. There was a lot of,
Bullets didn't, or the pellets in them, you couldn't tell whose duck was
Yeah.
whose.
you have to be fast on your feet.
Oh,
Yeah. And the one time we were out northeast Point and we didn't get any ducks or anything. They were flying around or something. Then we left, you call Chuckson. We were going back in the lake. I said, oh, look out. Dogs and I and Jason. There's a bunch of king eiders in the lake.
Hmm.
That's when there were oil, they had oil and oil
Oh,
spill
okay.
somewhere or something like that. And there was ducks at Webster Lake. The king eiders were just flying right off.
Hmm.
Then we shot one or something like that and took it, and it was their fur, or the feathers were had oil on it. And
Hmm.
then they were flying even to out at Zapani in the lagoon area there.
Mhm. Was that the Exxon oil spill? Or which oil spill?
And that was before that, I think. Could have been a
Probably didn't know.
Russian or
Yeah.
Japanese, maybe offshore or
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah, Exxon was in the Gulf. or
78.
something. Yeah. Well.
That's the year that Yardam, same time Yardam not hit the reef out at Northeast Point.
Hmm.
But they came around and dropped those people off and stuff like that. They ran the whale boat out to pick them up and brought them
Mhm.
back. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Is that like one of the, at least in the, like long time ago, there was the Perry that ran, they call it Pier Point, but a boat named Perry that was in 1800s, but like in the 70s, Yardam not, it was like one of the first boats run aground.
the processing,
Yeah,
no, it was All Alaskan was the first one that ran.
before Yardam not,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And then of course
It
that
just it
one-
hit the reef and then flooded one of their holes, but they were able to keep going and stuff, but they got the people off and stuff like that.
Mm.
But All Alaskan just came right ashore on that
Yeah.
North Beach. Couldn't believe it. Then something would start fire on her and stuff like that. Had a fire truck out there and everything like that. And they couldn't.
That's how that one trail started
Yeah.
to the beach. Hmm. So all of the people that were on there, they came ashore. They took them ashore. They had to walk from the beach to the road. And
Yeah, they had buses out there and stuff like
where
that.
did they stay when they brought them back?
Probably the hotel, I guess, or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, I worked my way up from nothing to something.
Huh.
I mean, I didn't know really have a, it was temporary employee, that's all, and stuff like that. And I
So
worked,
from that part-time, part of the year working,
I worked more or less year round and stuff like that.
after that, after those times when government just hired some folks 6 months out of the year and you were hunting,
Oh,
what
that-
was your work after that when you got full
What
time?
the kind of work I did?
Mm-hmm.
I did labor work and stuff like that. And
I was in
I
the
worked on the-
70s.
yeah, worked on the Purloff. They used to, Purloff used to come out here and stuff like that. Then we'd offload, we'd go, they'd take 8 guys all the time aboard to work cargo. And then
Did they use the LCMs at that time or still
They
use
had their little-
LiDARs?
those little lighters that had on them, yeah.
Mhm.
Nick Andrews wrote one, and another guy named Dick was, and they used those lighters. Then we'd work cargo here. Then when we come down to work in the morning, then Go down to the dock and he said, okay, go home. Pack your bag. They told us. So it'd take 8 of us. There was me, Tully Pop, Nick Kiefer, Dan Jr., Harry Krukoff, Egafon, Gabe Brook. They let us pack our bags, and then when you get to St. George, when we were going over there, we had to wash the boat, whitewash. They let us work all the time and everything. Just going out from here, we're up in there called the paint locker up in front, and start feeling. And Gabe Brook is, oh, I don't feel so well. So then push it. Murph. Then we had quarters in the back of the boat. And, because there was government agents or whatever, bosses were on the boat, they'd let us work and stuff while we traveled between here, St. George.
You help offload over there?
Yeah, we'd, when we get over there, we take the, they say, who's the shore crew? And they say, we have 2 up and 9, Nick Kiefer, and it was Dan Jr., I think, and Harry.
Is that Dan Krukoff Jr.? Dan Krukoff Jr.?
Junior?
Dan Jr.?
Yeah,
Was Krukoff.
yeah.
Yeah.
We stayed at the hotel. They put us up in the hotel. Dan Jr. had a bad hygiene, stuff like that. Socks and stuff like that. Stand up by themselves. We came to the hotel one day and he had his radiators there. His socks on there drying. Holy shit. Harry Krukoff took him through. Yeah, it was terrible. Then we were over there when they had a big fire at Larry, what do you call it? Philmon's?
Larry Philmon's?
Yeah, house that. We went over there afterwards. Because Nick Melvidoff went over, Jason, George went over there too. Honey. And we were all ashore. 2 up and 9 them. Then we were there cleaning out that house and stuff like that. Then only beer they had was that malt liquor beer. I forgot the name. It was really black.
No, Schlitz or?
No, it was a black bottle malt liquor. I drink that, and the guys would go down there by the water because we got ashore. We worked that 4 hours at St. George, offload, and then the weather got bad. This was in November. Then we didn't work for a week. We were just there doing odd jobs. Worked on the runway, that was the road. We put in culverts and stuff like that and built that runway and stuff like that. Did all that and dug it out by hand. Cleaned out that Larry Philomon's house. Stuff like that. But at night we drink beer and go down there. Then Nick Mellon was like, hey, you guys quit being down there drunk and throwing money in making the water mad worse. Then day before Thanksgiving, we were still over there. We worked the cargo and then we spent Thanksgiving over there. One night, 2 of us said, oh, let's see what we're having for supper. That Moses, I think it was.
Moses Galano.
Yeah, he was our cook. He went and checked the kitchen. Oh, he said that. I said, what? Oh, we're going to have steaks tonight. Oh, yeah? Yeah, they're throwing out. I said, oh, cool. But when he got supper time, we get back and it was like stew meat. It was all Islach. He probably took them home. So we worked there and get back. And boy, wives weren't very happy. Because Nicky and I and Tulip were married and spent Thanksgiving over there. Oh, you going to see your girlfriend?
So you all had like your first kids by then too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I roomed with Tulip in the hotel. He had a straight, I locked and he locked the hotel, something locked. Then he came in and over and banging on the window. I said, what the hell? Oh, I just got out of, what's her name's house? Lesnikov's, Alvin's. She's 3 o'clock in the morning, she was with you. Dick Clyde George, you're going to harry you.
Did Dick go ashore there too? Like his family was there?
Who?
Dick Nicander from on the Pribilof?
He used to go, yeah.
Like come ashore over there.
Yeah.
I remember hearing him on the CB when they would be coming to
Mm-hmm.
the islands. He had that really big laugh.
Yeah. He has a house brother,
Mm-hmm.
Junag. Junag was a dozer. He was running a dozer stuff. Honey was, he teased Honey about his daughter, I forgot it, Peggy.
Peggy.
He said, oh, Junag's mad at you. He said, he's going to have. He said, what is Peggy? He said, then he was riding that dozer. Tony said, yeah, he chased me with that dozer. Yeah. Tony was funny. He was janitor and stuff like that, and cleaning. Yeah, dustpan, empty beer cans. You walk by him and stuff like that. Yeah, check. One me to be filled.
Junag was?
Hmm?
Junag?
No, only
Honey. Oh, okay.
he was our janitor in the
Oh,
hotel.
okay.
When we were over there too, that when we were going to do a offload, that St. George launch
Yeah.
got too close and the water broke into it, and engine died and they couldn't get it. Then they were going to send from the village dock there. They were sending a biter over with a rope tied to a truck. The guys on the road that Feedy said, "Yeah, you go in there." He told Bob, "Oh shit, well, you're not our boss. We're not going in there."
He was over there then, Feedy.
Feedy, yeah. I said, "We're not going in there." But he pulled that. Tried pulling that thing. That rope snapped. Holy cow!
Mm.
He had to build a road to get the crane there to pick up
Oh,
that.
wow.
There was no way to pull that.
Was that from the village dock
Yeah,
area?
yeah, right over to the right.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of turned in too slow, and a breaker came.
Hmm.
I think it was Alvin, and somebody was running. Where did I move?
And so over there, at that time, they were offloading with the biters.
Yeah,
Did you ever go to Zapadny side?
yeah. We used to go over there. We used to go over there as biologists and stuff like that every summer too, when we did
Mhm.
biologist work. And then we'd go tag and stuff like that, and be there for about a week or so on the Pribilof.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Then we'd spend days in a rookery and parties, nights at the hotel or our friend's house.
Everything
Patrick
was
and I,
uphill,
Tulipop,
lots of
your
hills. there.
uncle, Berfinia.
Hmm.
Your dad wasn't with us. I don't know where he was.
Seminary yet?
Mm.
Was he at the seminary yet?
Yeah, he must have
Probably,
been. Yeah.
Didn't he teach for a while before he did
Oh yeah,
seminary?
yeah. He was. He taught at Diamond High School in Anchorage. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time when working in biology and stuff like that, you had to get government paid. They paid aid and stuff. And we were sharing pups or something. We got done early. We were at Northeast Point. So we fired up and played cards that afternoon. Like Victor Hall was right, these guys screw around. Go out there. Then your Uncle Perfinia and Roman and Nick Hander, Shane, they were in their own truck. The three of them fell asleep. Or they were parked this way then. We had two other trucks. Then we pushed our trucks down there. When we were going back, we left those guys, they were sleeping. And we headed back. wouldn't get a payday and all that and everything. And we were at the bar. It was Patrick and I and Anthony, stuff like that, and your aunt Lenora.
Oh, Lorna.
Yeah,
Okay.
she came and said, where's Perfinia? Told us, look at you. Oh, he's not home. He didn't come back? No. I said, oh, shit. I'll go check on him. Maybe he had a flat tire. He coming back, found out they were late. So got up and Uncle Perfinia was driving. He hit the bank and his wheel came off and flipped the truck over.
Oh, no.
Patrick picked him up they were walking back. Yeah.
Wow.
In those days, then I started working full-time, almost full-time, but it was as a garbage man. I know Dion, and I worked with Alex Stepton and Metrovan. And in the wintertime, Afrikaner too. And he had snow in the back of that garbage truck. Used to use those diamond tees or dump truck. Take your drum, 55-gallon drum, throw it up. And you have to dump it out. Had a lot of snow in it, slippery. There was a lot of snow on the road too, glad. And doing that down over here somewhere probably by Jacobs or that Daniel Freya's place. And I kind of slipped off the truck and fell into the snow.
Mm-hmm.
I still laughed. Don't laugh at me, you. I could have killed myself.
Those drums are heavy too.
Yeah. Alex Stepton and I did show it. It was hard work, especially when you didn't have no covers and have snow in it too. You know.
Yeah.
But it was work. It was kept me employed and stuff like that. And then Dion said, "I want to be a garbage man like my dad when I grow up." Too.
That's funny because Michael said that too. Because I think when City started to take over, there was Carl and Thomas and Simeon were like
Yeah.
the crew, and so they were dumping the garbage too. And that's Michael said that about Thomas.
Yeah.
Gonna be a garbage man like my dad.
Yeah.
Should remind him.
In the summertime, I got, they had Nikolai stepped in. They didn't have time clock, stuff like that, so we had a roll call, morning stuff, roll call. The old carpenter shop, they just have window and stuff.
Yeah.
So he asked me, oh, you want to be timekeeper? I said, oh, yeah, okay. So I went there, and guys come, name, number. I told him. I got to check them off and stuff like that, make sure they're coming. So then I got pretty contact with the foremen and stuff like that. Then Victor Masikin retired. Victor Masikin was just, he was really government brainwashed and everything like that. He was strict, real strict. One day we were staying outside the carpenter shop. It was a nice morning, beautiful. Your Uncle Paul and Mike and I, and your Uncle Paul was wearing I think it was a LA hat or something like that. Victor came down and he didn't have his cap on. Hey, Paul, you visit your house this weekend. Hey, Paul, yeah, you did. He said, yeah, I must have left my hat in your house. And Mike C said, yeah, you did. He's wearing it. I thought so. He took it. He took it. Paul was mad at Mike C for that. Yeah, I thought so. He took it and put it on. Oh boy. Uncle Paul was just mad at Mike.
Formanal.
Yep. I was up here doing this bow up here. doing the fence, putting that fence up with Chris Kozloff and Nick Kiefer. And we're going to go down and get post hole diggers, you know, to go.
Wasn't that that one that went
Yeah.
on the back of that bank when it used to be a bank?
So you right by the school here, so the ball don't go down there. you know.
Yeah.
Then we go use. He told me you were using shovel. I told Nick Kiefer, I said, hey, I said, yeah, post hole diggers. Let's go to the shop and get. It'd be easier for putting 4x4s in. I said, okay. So we walked down, started walking down. Oh, Chris says, where are you boys going? I said, we're going to get post hole diggers. Well, okay. Then got down by Fickel's house down there in that area. Victor up missing. Hey, where you guys going? Go and get the post hole diggers. No, you get out. You go use the shovel. If you guys are lazy, I'll send you home. I said, oh, okay. We come back up and use shovels.
Gee. I remember that fence. Used to, as kids, go on this side of it and jump in the snowbanks.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Before they put the rocks in there, huh?
Right.
It turned out pretty good to save that hill, huh?
Yeah.
It was eroding away.
Yeah. I think when it was a bank, they used to have used to find like little pieces of plates or cups. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how that.
They used to have a house right there. Freitas' house used to be
Yeah.
your grandpa's
Mm-hmm.
or great grandpa's, or maybe.
Yeah. I think Greg talked about living in there, growing up in there.
Even that, he was still late for school.
If I recall correctly, I think the women on Ludi might have shared the story that it sat there for a while before they tore it down, and
Mhm.
that when I think that's the one, when they tore it down, a bunch of mice came out of it and were running this way, and women were like, close your doors! They didn't want mice to come into their houses on this side of
I
town.
think Steve Hapoff, living in the last, I think was the last.
Mm.
Used to hear him walking by whistling all the time. Every day.
Huh.
Used to like to whistle all the time.
Is that when he was married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His wife was,
Sophie.
yeah,
Yeah.
from Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Sophie Shrupnikoff. Was married to Steve
Yeah.
Hapoff. Yeah. Was he the judge then?
He was the judge. They used to say, so as Judge Hapoff. One time, my mom and dad said they were cooking in, they were living in a hotel there. And Saturday morning, stuff like that, we were cooking, and Alex, and he'd come in there. You seen my wife? And I said, what? Oh yeah, you seen my wife? I got married yesterday. He said, Judge Hapoff married me. He got married a Sinuya. No, I didn't see her. Yeah.
How did that happen? Was that through the IRA? Or how did he serve as like a judge?
I don't know. There was George was a judge too, or magistrate and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I don't know if it
After
was
that.
IRA or what.
Yeah.
Then you had a constable here and a trooper. Trooper Morris.
Yeah.
You remember Trooper
I
Morris?
remember him. He's the one who started like the baseball for boys. Mhm.
Yeah, Trooper Morris. I used to see his machine shop and stuff like that. Matt Freitas, the called the Beagle Boys. Hey, every time you break and stuff like that, don't blame my kids, don't blame my boys, huh? Every time you tell them something or something, they see your gun and they say, yeah, we did it, yeah. You're scared of your gun. My uncle Trinity told me that they used to have birthdays on, he didn't know which one it would be, which, said they changed and put shirt and white tie on, white shirt. It's my birthday today, Krishna, something like that. He said, you don't know if the same one come back to him.
Oh, he was Cruister for those
Oh,
boys.
yeah.
Hmm. So you remember when they, or maybe it's when you were traveling or went out to school when they started to have running water and.
No, it was was
In-
before, when I moved back down, before the early 50s, they started having running water.
Mhm. Did they start in a certain spot, like if they were building new houses, they start putting
Yeah.
plumbing, and they went
They went to
Like
run
row by row and different parts of town?
Plus electricity, power lines and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Then they quit turning the lights off at, or still did that, I guess, because they'd blink the lights 11 o'clock and stuff like that to turn their lamps on and stuff. And the power would go out. That power would go out.
For the night.
Yeah.
Mm.
Used to hear my furnace, my dad shaking the furnace starting in the morning, so
Mm.
just like an alarm clock. Yeah, it was pretty cold in the wintertime and stuff like that. You used to go out and pick wood and stuff like driftwood and cut wood because they deliver coal maybe once a week, something like that, maybe 2 sacks or something like that. Then you would take it out of his paycheck and stuff like that too.
They had like with the coal sacks. I remember the priest house having a coal bin where when
Yep.
they delivered, they would empty it down in the
Dump the
chute.
sack,
Yeah.
yeah. They had one room that was for
Coal.
taking when dump the coal, empty the coal sack in it and stuff like that. And then there was places where you go around and dig coal out and stuff like down by that e-shop down in that area down
Yeah.
there and stuff. Just go out with mom and them and
There
dig.
used to be that one, actually where the road now by Ice House Lake, that little, before the road went through,
Oh,
there
that's
was
where-
coal there too.
They did, yeah, the coal, when they took down that coal house in there, they cleaned it all out and they dumped it all over there
Mm.
before they were tearing down that coal house. And
Mm. We were out camping with Micah and Lula at Marunik, and we were walking, and I found a piece of coal. Oh no, she found it maybe, and looked at it, and she goes, I said, "This is coal, Lula," and
Mhm.
so I explained to her what it was, and she took it back, brought it back, and then when we came in the house, she's like, "Can we light it?" She wanted to like watch it burn, but she kept it, and she took it home. And I asked Katya, "What did Lula do with that coal?" She said, "It's in her room on her table or something. She's keeping it." She had a lump of coal.
Yeah, I think keeping it burned, most of that coal that was down there and stuff.
Mm.
A lot of people did that, dig coal and then take it to Northeast Point and stuff.
Yeah.
But those wood stoves they got for outdoor, wood burning stoves, and they ruined the warped them. They got so hot.
Yeah, from the coal.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Uh,
So when I started working with government and stuff there, I didn't even have what I went to school for, become the cook and all that. I became a mechanic and stuff. Then I worked with John and Mel. I was still working temporary. I wasn't a full-time employee. So he laid me off and then hire me, lay me off, hire me. Then one day I went to the office. I said, "I want to file for unemployment." "Oh no, we're going to hire you next week." "Oh yeah, okay." So I didn't have. Then then I worked with Johnny Mel for a few years and stuff like that. When he became foreman and stuff, then I was his right-hand man. And when he passed away down there by a store. But Thayer was here.
Mm.
Then I was working with John. Then I had that incident for Ignati where he passed away at a power plant.
Mm-hmm.
I went down there and they did CPR, everything on him. We were doing a lunch hour, just a little after lunch hour and stuff. And he was my next door neighbor too. And then I thought about him. I told Johnny Moore, I said, "I don't feel so good. I'm going to take a week off or take some time off with him. I thought about it, stuff like that. I said, Johnny, I was out hunting. He comes in. Come on, Thayer wants to see you. He wants. I said, no. I said, I don't want to see Thayer. I said, no, come on. I said, I know what you have in mind. I said, I'm not going to work in the power plant. I told him that. He said, no. He said, come on. It's going to be, you get a permanent job, you'll be a permanent. I said, well, come on and talk to Thayer. He said, I said, okay. So he finally, I waited a week and I finally went. Thayer said, talk to me and stuff like that. And I said, oh yeah. I said, we're looking for somebody for the power plant. He said, your name came up and you'd be pretty good. He said, I said, well, I said, I don't know anything about a power plant. I said, don't worry. I said, got Andre on there and Adrian. He said, they'll teach you everything you need to know. And I said, oh, okay. So Douglas was working on it. I said, well, okay, I'll work on it. So I went to work there and I became permanent employee for the government. And I'd work there and we'd do overhauls and stuff like that, but I'd be the guy doing washing parts most of the time. But I learned a lot from Bozo and Douglas. Alec Landon was there too, but he wasn't much help or nothing. So Bozo would teach me stuff. Then they sent me down to Seattle, Emerson Diesel School. So I went there for a couple of weeks and stuff, overhauling. Came back. Alec went with me and he came in. And so I had problems. I said, oh, that's Dennis. I said, hey, you went to the same school. I said, you tell him that. So I ended up doing all the work and stuff. Then Bozo and Douglas, we'd work at night too. Sometimes we had to work at night. Then one night we were working and Douglas was showing me how they had it. Then you had these doorknobs where they hook, or a doorknob. Then Bozo had these hee-haw pants he used to wear all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then Douglas went, and then power went, now we have a power outage. Bozo said, son of a he got real fast, started walking real fast. His pants got caught in the doorknob, tore off.
Oh, no.
Holy cow, he was really mad. He got really mad at Douglas. When you start up, you have to start up engines manually, and you have to have a wrench to hold the governor and stuff like that. Then you have to have somebody at the breakers to throw the breaker on to put the power up in the power plant, because you had to knock all the breakers off to get power back on. Said you. So if you're there by yourself and the power goes out, and then you got to try to start the engine before the air runs out. So I've been there by myself and wait for somebody to come in. At first I'd turn off all the breakers and go fire up one.
Would a light go on in there? If the power goes out, are you using flashlights or to see?
Yeah, the emergency light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't that far back in time.
I'd work from midnight, or from 8 to midnight, something like that. And walking, my product was working. The way power was coming, I said, so we running around, stuff like that. And then one night I was there, probably it was 11:30, 11:30, and I was checking on me, doing my reading and stuff like that. For a fellow visit, I could see something. I said, well, what is that? So I was thinking and thinking. I see the thing getting bigger and bigger, and coming closer to me. And look, it was Bozo.
Scary.
Scared me, yeah. He scared me that those alarms would go off or something like that. So I worked there then till in '83, till '83, when the government turned it over to the city. Then I worked there about 10 years, maybe. Then John R. was Public Works Director. Then he took me out of there, John W. Boss there, and put me in Public Works So I worked public works there. Then from there, they built a breakwater and stuff, and they're looking for a harbor master, so I became the first harbor master with Andre and Jason McQueen. Gary Daly came out there to instruct us on. And then we budget, city budgets, and every year we have, they call a call of the ports, go all over the west coast, all over Alaska and stuff, go to these harbor master meetings and stuff. It was pretty interesting. In my budget, I make sure I have my trip. So I worked at harbor master till 94, when I was working down there, and then Ron and Bill Otterberg came around and said, "Oh, we're opening up a tank farm. We're looking for a manager. Your name came up." I said, "Oh yeah, for what? Managing our field farm." I said, "I don't know." I said, "The city paid me very well." He said, "Oh, we could top what they're paying you." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "But," I said, "I don't want to start from the beginning either." I said, "I've been working here and I get 8 hours of annual leave and 4 hours of sick leave. Then I don't want to start on the bottom with TDX and stuff like that." "Oh, no, we'll start you up and really?" I said, "Oh, okay. Let me think about it, okay?" Went and thought about it for about a week, and then I decided, okay, I'll go work for the joint venture with Delta Western and TDX. Then I went to send me down to Dutch Harbor. So to get my 40-hour Haswalker training and stuff like that. Spent a week there.
Did you like fly to Anchorage and fly down there? Or
No, I
to the-
flew straight because Mark Air was flying.
Mark Air, okay.
Yeah. And I worked for Mark Air then too.
Oh.
Yeah. I was our fueler too for
Mm.
we had a 10,000 gallon tanker. Used to fly there, then get on the jet and fly to Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
The Mark Air planes are those Ace cargo planes.
Oh, wow.
Those little small ones.
Yeah.
Those used to be that Mark Air Express.
Huh.
So
Didn't
when
they-
when Mark Air was going bankrupt, they had that Mark Air's his son, he was taking care of the freight, Mark Air Express. He changed it to what they call it, and he was separate from Mark Air. It was a separate company.
Hmm.
Then he started that Ace Cargo stuff.
Hmm. Mark Air, did they do flights from Dutch Harbor to Seattle too for a while?
They did for a while.
I think so, huh? Yeah. Huh.
We landed in those 737s on the Dutch Harbor there. Holy cow! Toenails. Tried to stop and stuff.
I used to live right up the hill. And Alaska Airlines would still fly in there, 737s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're,
Loud.
yeah, very loud. They're, yeah, twice a day.
Huh.
Right beside of the mountains there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So when the TDX did away with their contract with Delta Western, wanted to take everything over and own everything, stuff like that. And so TDX didn't buy into it or anything like that, so they quit their JV and started St. Paul Fuel. So I worked there till 2012 or something like that, I think it was. Then moved to, they moved me into the officer, director of operations and stuff. So they could promote other people and get me out of the way.
Mm. Mm.
So I enjoyed working as director of operations. I think I did a lot of stuff for a lot of people that didn't get help before and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody was talking money-wise. And I never contact Anchorage. I said, your city or tribe, I said, you guys scratch my back, I'll scratch yours and work it out that way. Don't get the politicians involved, otherwise I'll get lawyers and everything.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where they borrow this, borrow that. And so there was no money exchange or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way things will work out here.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know what changes I'll get now or something. Or if I taught that right to my guys.
Yeah. Hopefully that continues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I miss seeing your truck driving to work. It's like was a clock for me.
Oh yeah.
Like you were very steady and consistent, and if I saw it driving your headlights, I'd go, oh yeah, I know what time it is.
Yeah, I think about 7:15, 7:20.
Yeah.
Get up there, make coffee, and get on my computer and do some stuff before the guys come in and see what they have planned for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes if they don't show or call sick or what.
Yeah. So when did you start at TDX? What year was that?
1994.
94. Okay.
Yeah, this August was 30 years with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to retire last year, but my brother got sick, so Chris asked me to stay on, and I stayed on till I got well and stuff like that. And then when I was in Anchors in May, I told Andrew, I said, I want to put in my request for retirement again. I told him.
Mhm.
So this time he said, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, he's not CEO.
Pardon?
He's not CEO
No.
now.
John Lyons is,
Yeah. He's been there for a while, John Lyons.
yeah, he's been there from, I think, the beginning or something like that.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, so I worked with TDX for the last 30 years.
Did you ever do any boards, like, were you ever on councils or?
Oh yeah, I was on the first board for TDX Corporation after it was organized and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Back when, what is that, in 72 or something like
Mhm.
that back then. I was on there, and I've been on the tribal council. I was on the city council. But I'm still on the church council. But
Mhm.
the other ones I'm not in anymore. I
Mm.
no more politics for me.
I was
Yeah.
telling George that when I was looking at the history, I said one of the longest living councils on this island is actually the church council.
Yeah.
You think about how long the church has been. It's like an oldest council
Hmm.
ongoing.
My mom told me and stuff that that you couldn't organize, or the federal government wouldn't organize the Unangan to get together, so they'd go to the church and have the church, or have maybe William, something like that, and have their meeting in the church, because then those Americans didn't come around or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
because they learned a lot too from when they got evacuated down in Funner Bay and stuff like that. Didn't realize there was another world out there, you know.
Yeah. Church was a safe place to talk
Mhm.
about what they wanted to
Yeah.
organize.
Then that church was built with all the local money.
Right.
All
Yeah.
the iconostas was from the old church had burnt, stuff
Mhm.
like that. Just to the right of it is that where Cousin Mac rebuilt the altar.
Yeah, I walked up to it. You looked at it a couple of weeks ago.
Did a real
Good
nice
job.
job.
Yeah.
We were trying to get it done before
Bishop.
Bishop came in, and I said, "Hey, Gus," I said, Bishop canceled. I said, "Oh, good, we could relax." But he did a lot of good. Holy cow!
Yeah.
He said he had sleepless nights and stuff, trying to figure out angles and stuff like that. He really worked hard.
Yeah.
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 So he wanted to go help him with cut some grass the other day. I said, "Oh, I've got my grandbaby. I'm watching the grandbaby." So
Does the church have like weed whackers, or is that?
No,
One time we were talking, George and I were talking about accessing money from that Privilege Restitution Trust, and maybe get weed whackers in like a garage or something, or storage shed.
mm-hmm.
People could use it to clear the cemetery. And first we were talking about clearing that old cemetery by the church,
Uh-huh.
the one between Tenemanoffs and the church. I was surprised somebody said, I thought it was just white people buried in there. It's like, no, that
No.
was the first cemetery.
Yeah.
So
They only see that, maybe that one stone right there in the
Right.
corner or something like that. That's why.
my dad mentioned that at some point the federal government was trying to build a garage over it when they started to have vehicles.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That I think that extends further down, but they put a rock wall by the church. There's a rock wall in front of the church and
Mhm.
around that cemetery. Because that one, I don't know how long ago, but 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I found a skull right on the roadway there.
Hmm.
And my brother Jason and I took and got a garbage bag from TDX office, and I put it in there, picked it up and put those bones all in there.
Hmm.
Then I took it to public safety. I forgot who that chief was or something. Oh, I missed the crime scene or something like that. They told me that. That's off on the road there and stuff like that. I was worried about the grader starting to cut the bank more and stuff like that. The blade is so big,
Mhm.
wide.
It was out. So would it have come outside that?
Right.
So in the rock wall, that rock wall that's there, that cemetery might have been bigger
Further
than
up,
that.
yeah.
Wow.
Because when they graded, I guess it came out of where that cemetery is at,
Mm.
came out from in that area there. I know that chief, I forgot what chief it was, but he wanted me not to touch anything and blah, 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 and like a crime scene. Before we found one, when we were working for the government was Artemi and Garud was, we found that one outside the cemetery up on the hill where it was caving in and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And we put it in the bags and stuff like that, and we shipped it out. Your dad was priest, and it was a young native girl when they sent it out, and they sent it back and they buried it up in the cemetery.
Mm.
So that was a long time ago, though.
It was like on the top side.
Yeah,
Outside.
that cross we moved down, this one that Macaria put in there, I forgot what year it was. And from that, the one before that, the erosion already reached it.
Hmm.
Because the one before that this is the third one. I told Larry and Jason Ness, I said, 50 years from now, you guys going to have to move this cross. But it was within 20 years that erosion reached it. Because Larry and I, what's your name, made that, your brother-in-law, Frank,
Mm.
he made that cross, and it made a 6x6. This last one, Macari and I made it out at Post Camp and stuff.
Mm.
But we put gravel and stuff and plastic pipe
Mm-hmm.
to keep dirt, so it won't rot away,
Yeah.
and water will drain away from it
Yeah.
and stuff. Put dirt all around and gravel all the way on it. But try to protect it.
Yeah. Yep. I got a bench, a memorial bench with my brother Max's date of birth and date of death on the side, and on the seat part of the bench. It's just 36-inch, I think.
Uh-huh.
And it has a "You're the Best," that song he wrote, and a guitar. And so it started with talking with Zoya about should we have something, put his ashes, when he was I think it was when my mom passed, or my dad passed away, one of the two. When my dad passed away, we were all up there, and Max was standing there after he buried my dad, and he's like, man, Timon's lucky he's buried between mom and dad. And I said, you're skinny enough, we could bury you sideways and you'll fit in there. And so then with his choice to be cremated, we still you have some of his ash there. But there was somebody else's tea party after someone else passed away, and I was hearing Pauline and maybe Dorothy, I don't know, they were talking about how hard it is to walk there. And I said, would it be good if there was like a bench for people to sit on? And they were like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Mhm.
So kept it in mind, and when talked with my brothers and Zoya, and we all pitched in and bought a bench. But then I heard talk about the extension of that cemetery, so I don't know where to put it yet, but I want to put it up there where people could sit to visit the cemetery. And,
Oh, yeah.
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 They were going to put it on the side with the guitars. Like, no, put it on top. People will be happy to see you're the best. They're going to
Yeah.
sit down there and visit their loved ones.
Yeah.
That's a nice area up there to look out at a
Mhm.
good view from the cemetery, the village. Both, you could go
They
right
said
here.
they're gonna extend it at north
Yeah.
south. Yeah, the what you were talking about re-extend now, that hill is too much like that. There's a
Mhm.
lot of room up toward the north end there.
Yeah. I was thinking about putting it like just outside the top side,
Mm-hmm.
because if people want to, if they're walking from the car, they can like rest before they go in there. It doesn't have to be in the cemetery, just a memorial bench or,
There's that one grave over there by one of those houses.
yeah,
There
behind
was cushion or something like that.
behind the
The one
city
of those
house.
guys, yeah. Those duck hunters hanged a bunch of ducks on them one time. Or
Oh
something.
yeah.
That cross still up there or what?
I don't know actually.
I think I've seen it.
It's still up there?
I think it's still there. Yeah.
Where they have the gym downstairs, that city house, that townhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had got sick last week or the other, last month, bad. I have COPD,
Mm.
probably from all the years of work with diesel and stuff like that,
Yeah.
filling trucks, staying over, breathing,
Right.
measuring the tanks. And the doctors asked, you smoke? I don't know, I don't smoke.
Mm.
There are 18 years of working on diesel and stuff like that,
Yeah.
jet fuel.
Mm.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't know it was hazardous or anything like that. When I used to work in a power plant, I never wear rubber gloves or nothing, washing parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Go home with all splashing dirt. Probably too so jet at work. Proud of
You still have the mom-sized counters in the
Yeah.
house too.
I was thinking about getting rid of those and stuff like that and doing dishes, my back aches.
I remember when Katya would be there, she would get a chair and do the dishes by the sink.
Yeah. Custom made that house. I think.
Right.
Those carpenters, Christoforovas and Maxim Woodard and my man Timonov.
Mm.
That's before your grandpa came over here.
Mm.
Yeah. They were the carpenters.
Yeah. Africano or Kasaka was too, or something like that. Too.
Yeah. Did Afrikaan do carpentry work too?
He was just like a tool keeper or something like that,
Okay.
yeah. He used to be in the shop, all sharpening saws and stuff like that. Yep, damn you don't play cards on the boat. I'd go behind him. Don't stand behind me. Get mad at me.
Paul has some similar features
Yeah.
to him. Yeah.
He does.
Paul Mel, it's his uncle. Yeah, it was his mom's brother, huh?
Mhm.
Afrikaan.
You know
Oh,
his
no,
his dad's brother.
No.
No, it's
his
his,
grandma,
Peggy's, or what's her name? His mom's dad.
Katerina's
His dad's brother, Bourdukofsky, yeah. It's
Xenia,
Afrikaner, I mean, Anglophone.
and Afrikaan,
Mm-hmm.
and Xenia, or was it, and Edwin? Was there another one?
Edwin's Peggy's brother, yeah.
Mm.
His older brother.
Mm.
It was Peggy, Edwin.
I forgot what
There was
their.
another one, older sister. Said,
And then
Xenia.
Angie,
Oh,
Xenia
Xenia.
and Angie.
yeah. Angie.
Yeah, she was the youngest one.
Angie was the youngest one.
Mm.
Gugu was, they call Gugu Agopina.
Yeah.
She was
It's-
about, she went to school, she married talked to, Fred talked to when he met him there, I think, or in Edgecombe.
Mm.
Fred talked to was my roommate and stuff in Edgecombe. Jacob Adams was my roommate. He used to do my laundry for me. He was the CEO of Arctic Slope before, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, Dennis," I said, "Yeah, you want to do your tea deal?" He used to say, you know, Beryl, you know, he talked, what you call it, their T's are D's and D's are T's.
Mm-hmm.
He would say, tea tail. Tell me, here's $10. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, here's my laundry too, okay. Then when I see him in Anchorage, I didn't know he passed away, but I see him as the CEO of the richest native corporation. You know, my God, I had my grandson and we had a granddaughter. I said, go marry that little girl. Yeah, Jacob
Adams.
Jacob Adams, yep.
Mm.
His boys had trucks. We'd go after that Kobe's before it burnt down.
Mm.
His boys' trucks were outside by that, all souped up and everything. And I said, oh, well, those are Jacob Adams' boys' trucks and stuff like that, toys.
Mm. Mom, when she was, I was doing language stuff with her. I had this doll, these toys, so we could talk about different things happening in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot she had a name for the parents, something in Pelagia. I forgot what the man's name was. And I felt like it was from the Krukov family.
Pelagia is Afrikaner, what he calls mom, I think.
Yeah. Do you know the husband's name?
No, I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to. I think I have those old recordings.
I don't remember. He must have passed away before I was born.
Mm.
I remember Pelagia, Afrikaner's mom, because he was living over there with Afrikaner, and I'd never seen his dad or their dad.
She used names like the Russian names for these dolls when she was talking to Nunamtanu and letting them do different things. And I remember Pelagia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I liked hearing about you didn't think of all those times of you going on to Purpleoff and.
Yeah, those days were
and-
government holidays were nothing to them, or anything like that, or family time. You go to work or you go home.
Right. Yeah. So if you, like, for nowadays, is there anything, like, you're concerned about? You think we're doing okay here with our town, or?
What I'm worried about is the younger generation. They're not going out and getting, I mean, don't have to be doctors or anything like that, but going out there in trade schools or something like that. There's plumbers, electricians, mechanics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any of these guys jumping up and doing that or anything like that. All they're doing is on their phones and playing games and Facebooking and stuff. And that's what I worry about. How are they
Yeah.
gonna fix their stuff? There's no plumbers, there's no carpenters. I learned on OJT on the job,
Yeah.
what I went to school for was cooking and stuff. I do that okay, but then when I went down to Emerson Diesel School, learned about mechanic. Then I was a mechanic, and I got into operating equipment and stuff like that, so too. So
Mm-hmm. Stuff that will maintain the
yeah,
infrastructure here,
hmm
those types of jobs.
and
Yeah. Or
of course,
skills.
people say it's hard to find somebody to do this for them and to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and because there's really nobody going out and like a store hire young kids. I said, why do you hire? They said, let them encourage them to go out to school and get.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Stock shelf for 30 years or something like that, or where they can be, going out and getting an education.
Right.
And I feel that's. I mean, what the kids going to think? Oh, I could work in a store, or they'll hire me.
Mm-hmm.
Make it, easy way out, stuff like
Yeah.
that. There's
I
too much
was-
free money too that's out there. It's hard to find anybody that want to work.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bust or a butts off and to get anything. I had hard times.
I did I was a reference for a young man that's applied for work here,
Hmm.
and when I was in the interview with the company he applied for, I was told that he took advantage of a training in Mount Etchcombe to see what it would be like to be in that field. And he said to the company he applied for here at the health center, he
Mhm.
said that he did it because he was trying to think of what type of good work he could do and live here. And I was like, man, I wish young people would think like
Yeah.
that. And
Exactly.
yeah, so like you come back and work. And I remember telling my kids that too. If you're just gonna
Hmm.
go and be here and you're not gonna do anything, don't even consider living here. You wanna work and contribute to keeping our community going, and
Yeah,
not just free for all.
exactly. That's what I'm concerned about. Is
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at doing my own stuff or troubleshooting or something like that. I could work on a furnace and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I did a lot of maintenance out in the hotel and stuff. Then the mechanical wise and stuff like that, and I give advice to his boys and stuff. Neon said, "Oh, I never knew that. No, I never did." I said, "Remember what I teach you?" I said, "That old man Dennis taught me that."
Right. Yeah. I'm very grateful that Phil did mechanics in high school,
Hmm.
because it was that hands-on, and he was going to continue going to school to be a mechanic,
Hmm.
but he decided to shift gears. Maybe parents talked to him about going to college or doing something
Mhm.
different, but he likes to tinker with the truck and
Yeah.
he tries to keep it up and maintain it, so it's always appreciate that.
My problem now is that if I start buying parts and stuff like that, it's time for me to get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's why I got this other one. That truck my granddaughter gave. I had to buy parts and do them. And I told Dion that before. I said, if I start buying parts, it's costing me more. I said, I'm just going to go get them.
Yeah. I think Phil's already looking at getting the next one.
I thought I wouldn't get another one and stuff like that. And then Dion was down in Kendall Ford, and he said, or my daughter Angela said, "Dad, why you want to go buy a Alyssa truck, or and why don't you buy yourself one and give her your own?" Oh, okay. Knock, yeah. Oh, yeah, that sounds better.
Smart.
Yeah, because after the game, and I kind of like kids want to go out and go everywhere and do something. Then I have to wait till they get home, and then I take over the truck.
Yeah.
So
So
you ride with Pop and stuff like, oh, no Pop, no, no Pop, no candy, no.
I do that with the grandkids too. Nope, nope, eating in here.
Yep.
That one other truck I had before, on the mats,
Mm-hmm.
there was like a part that got damp, and part of it's like snacking and mushrooms started.
that
I'm
right?
like, darn it! So it's like no more eating and no more eating in the trucks. When we go hunting, we'll like go outside and snack
Mhm.
on stuff when we take them, but try not to eat in the truck. So, what would you say you know now about living a happy life? From when you look back with all the stuff you've done, what would you say? Like, what does it take to
What I would
that
say to
feeling
have a
of
happy life?
success or successful, happy life?
You have a good job, I would say. I mean, you show up for work and do your thing, earn an income to support yourself and your family and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard and stuff like that. I mean, again, not simple for everybody, I guess. Of course, we got divorced with my wife and stuff like that, but after we divorced, we became like better friends and stuff like that. We'd have no hard feelings against each other or anything like that. Then, and our kids are growing up and stuff like that, and they're good. I'm glad to see my kids grow up and having jobs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Dion's working in Northern Chicago for 25 years now, I think he said. Has celebrated 25 years. Then James goes up there north, works 6 months out of the year, doesn't go up there when. Then he's off. He's building ice roads and stuff like that, operating equipment there.
Mm.
Angela's in over 25 years with Elliott Corp there too.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just
And Peter's here and he's
Pardon?
working. Peter's here and he's working.
oh yeah, Peter's
Yeah.
working. Yeah, he's got. It's a pretty scary job he has, a crane operator. I wouldn't be a crane operator. I've been in crane operating and stuff like that, and I get a little shaky and stuff like that. The old Grove crane was a little 15-ton
Mm.
little cranes. That old red one that was down, you see down the ball field or something that belonged to a tribe. Little cable operated ones.
Mm.
But our cranes never, not my thing.
Yeah. Can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I have my spiritual, what they call it, from church and stuff like that. My mom told me when she was passing, don't forget your church, she said. So I always keep that in mind.
Yeah. When you were talking about the church being that place for people to be together after being evacuated, coming back to meet,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking here the other day about so many people in some type of stress, whether that in the town with people being hurt and getting in accidents and driving and drinking and I had mentioned that we should just like not depend on an entity. Maybe there's community that have talking circle
Yeah.
and the church probably is a good place for that, for bringing people to heal and sit there, because it's the oldest building and most of our people either were married there or baptized there or their funerals were there. It's a healing place, and that might be a place where people can come in and talk with each other about healing and I don't know what like intervention, if there isn't anything being done for some repeated
Repeated offenders,
offenses,
yeah. The
and
same people that,
just a handful of people.
yeah, they put them on a list or stuff like that. It don't matter to put them on a list. They pay somebody a little bit more money to get them what they want and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's not really working out for them. I mean,
No.
it's not helping them. Or either they order it out or the bootlegger comes in and takes care of them, you know.
Yeah. It seems like people want to have, they don't want to deal with it. I just had an incident with someone coming, knocking at our door, but they didn't want to like confront the person, or they don't want to. I don't want them to think I'm a bad guy or I'm tattling. I was like,
Mhm.
no, you need to let people know you care,
Yeah,
that you're trying to help them, and it's not tattling. And, yeah,
yeah, they get mad when you try to correct them and stuff like that.
yeah,
Like
it's tough.
yeah.
But I don't even know if I wanted to, like, having the talking circles was the idea of maybe if they go to the tribal court and they say you have to be in at least this many talking circles with community members this many times before you get off the list, or I don't know how they get off the list.
Yeah,
Do they, what's,
I don't know how they do.
I know maybe how they tried to get off the list, like some of them knocking at our door.
It's longer than that now.
Yeah.
You guys will go broke, all these people.
Someone tried to come and tell Phil, I gotta get off that list. A few days ago, made me think about how people would come in bumps.
But I got lots since 1962 or whatever, when I first started working for the federal government. I've been paid into FICA, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so I got pretty good, still in that, I guess,
Yeah,
insurance and stuff.
they call that FICA, huh?
But I don't know. And I paid unemployment too, state of Alaska. I don't know if I would be able to draw out of that or not. Because they took money out of me all the time, every pay period for it. You pay a certain amount each year, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was good to see Angela. And it was good to see Angela when she
Oh,
came.
yeah.
She came here and brought the folks to check out
Mhm.
our work here in the Civic Center. So got a good tour.
Well, that's good, yeah.
So Julia. That's her
Yeah,
name.
Julia.
Yeah. She had talked to me up there after they were here, and she goes, thanks for taking the time to share everything that you do over there. It was good for her to hear the work
Mhm.
that we're doing here. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sanaliga.
yeah.
Yeah.